Hey man, I'm about to show you something that's going to fundamentally rewire how you understand women. There's a pattern operating beneath every text you send, every call you make, every conversation you have with a woman you're attracted to. And this pattern is either building her obsession with you, or it's slowly, silently, killing every drop of desire she has. Most men have no idea this pattern exists. They think attraction is about saying the right things, being emotionally available, communicating openly, showing her that they care. And that's exactly why most men watch the women they want fall for someone else. Because here's what nobody told you: a woman doesn't fall in love with your words. She becomes obsessed with the space between them, the silence, the uncertainty, the mystery of what you're not saying. The format of your communication controls her emotional reality, not the content. And once you understand this, you'll never look at dating the same way again. See, there's a fundamental mistake men make when they start liking a woman. They feel the attraction building inside them, and their first instinct is to express it, to make sure she knows, to eliminate any doubt in her mind about how they feel. So they text her consistently, good morning messages, good night messages. They reply within seconds. They write paragraphs when she sends one sentence. They explain their feelings. They ask about her day. They make themselves completely, utterly, totally available, and they think this is love. But in her emotional mind, it registers as something completely different. Desperation, not romance, not affection, not the behavior of a high-value man she should take seriously. Desperation. And here's the brutal truth that will change everything once you accept it. Women cannot become obsessed with what they already fully possess. That's not cruelty. That's the architecture of female desire. The feminine psyche is wired for pursuit, for wondering, for emotional uncertainty that creates investment. When you remove all mystery from the equation, when she knows exactly how you feel and exactly where she stands with you at every moment, you've removed the very mechanism that creates obsession. You've handed her certainty on a silver platter, and certainty to the female emotional system is the death of passion. Now, I want you to think about something. Think about that guy. You know the one she keeps going back to. The one she complains about but can't seem to quit. The one who treats her like an option, and somehow that makes her more addicted. You've probably wondered what he has that you don't. Is he better looking, richer, more successful, more charming? Here's the answer: none of that. What he has is a communication format that plays with her emotional architecture instead of working against it. He's not trying to be cruel. He's not running some manipulation playbook. He's just naturally operating in a way that creates space, tension, and uncertainty. His texts are short, his replies are delayed, his attention is unpredictable. He doesn't explain himself, he doesn't chase her validation, he doesn't need to know where he stands with her every 5 minutes, and that drives her absolutely insane. Not insane in a bad way, insane in the way that makes her think about him constantly. Reread his messages looking for meaning, tell her friends about him, wonder what he's doing, wonder who he's with, wonder if she's enough for him. That emotional whirlpool, that's where obsession lives. And you've been draining that whirlpool dry every time you over-communicate. Let me break this down psychologically so you understand exactly what's happening inside her mind. When you're constantly available, constantly communicating, constantly expressing, you're giving her conscious mind all the information it needs. She knows how you feel. She knows you're interested. She knows you're not going anywhere. But the conscious mind isn't what drives obsession. The subconscious does, and the subconscious is activated by gaps, by questions, by uncertainty. When there are blanks in the story, her subconscious starts filling them in, and the stories she creates in your absence are 1,000 times more powerful than anything you could ever say. She starts wondering why you didn't text back for 3 hours, what you were doing, who you were with, whether you're losing interest, whether she did something wrong. And here's the key. Those questions create emotional investment. She's not investing in you because you told her how great she is. She's investing in you because her own mind is now working overtime, trying to figure you out. You become a puzzle she needs to solve. And the feminine mind bonds through problem solving, through emotional engagement, through the process of seeking answers. Most men communicate to be understood. High-value men communicate to remain. Intriguing. And that single distinction determines whether she just likes you or becomes genuinely addicted to the thought of you. Now let's talk about texting, because this is where the battlefield is. Every text you send is being evaluated, not just for what it says, but for what it reveals about your emotional state. How fast did you reply? How long is your message compared to hers? How eager do you sound? How available do you seem? How much do you need her validation? She's not consciously analyzing this, but her subconscious is reading every signal like a master codebreaker. And based on those signals, she's determining your value. The man who replies instantly, every time, with long emotional messages. Her subconscious reads him as having nothing better to do, as being too invested, as being lower value than her. The man who takes his time, who replies with calm, measured, slightly mysterious responses. Who doesn't match her energy, but sets his own? Who makes her wait and wonder? Her subconscious reads him as a man with options, a man with a life, a man whose attention is earned, not guaranteed. And that, brother, is what creates obsession. Not your compliments, not your availability, not your emotional openness, your scarcity. Here's what most men don't understand about the way women process communication. You speak to convey information, to solve problems, to make things clear. She speaks to feel connected, to process emotions, to test where she stands with you. When you communicate the same way you communicate with a male friend, with directness, with full information, with logical clarity, you're actually short-circuiting the emotional process she needs to bond with you. She doesn't want all the answers. She wants the experience of seeking them. She doesn't want the full story up front. She wants to earn each chapter. And when you give her everything at once, when you lay your cards on the table in the first week, when you tell her exactly how you feel and exactly what you want, you've just ended the game before it started. She has nothing left to chase, nothing left to wonder about, nothing left to fantasize over. And fantasy, brother, is where her deepest feelings are created. Let me tell you what obsession actually looks like from her perspective. She's texting with multiple guys, getting attention from all directions, receiving compliments, invitations, validation. But there's one guy who stands out. One guy who consumes her thoughts even when he's given her the least. He's the one she tells her friends about, the one she analyzes, the one whose every word she dissects looking for meaning. And he's doing almost nothing. He's not chasing, he's not explaining, he's not flooding her with attention. He's just existing in his own frame, speaking when he wants to speak, responding when he feels like it, giving just enough to keep her engaged, but never so much that she feels certain. She looks at him and feels something she can't explain, something that doesn't make logical sense. Why is she so drawn to someone who gives her so little? And the answer is because what he gives feels earned, rare, valuable. His attention isn't a commodity, it's a reward. His words aren't background noise, they're events. His presence isn't guaranteed, it's a privilege, and that's why she obsesses over him while ignoring the men who give her everything freely. Because the feminine emotional system cannot value what comes too easily. Now, I want to address something important before we go further. This is not about being cold. It's not about playing games. It's not about manipulating her or treating her badly. It's about understanding polarity. The masculine and feminine are opposite forces, and attraction is created in the tension between them. The feminine is emotional, expressive, chaotic, seeking. The masculine is grounded, controlled, still, certain. When you match her emotional energy, when you become as expressive and available as she is, you collapse the polarity. You become emotionally similar, and similar doesn't create attraction. But when you hold your frame, when you remain grounded in your own reality, when you don't get pulled into her emotional storms, you become the stillness she needs, the rock in her chaos, the mystery she can't decode, and that contrast is electric. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practice. She texts you something emotional. Maybe she's upset about her day. Maybe she's testing you. Maybe she's trying to pull a reaction out of you. Most men dive in immediately. They match her energy. They ask 1,000 questions. They try to fix the problem. They become emotionally reactive. And she feels nothing, or worse, she feels turned off. But the man who creates obsession, he doesn't react. He reads the message, he waits, and when he responds, it's calm, grounded, maybe even slightly amused. He doesn't solve her problem. He doesn't feed her drama. He lets her sit in her own emotions without collapsing into them, and something shifts inside her. She realizes she can't shake him. She can't pull him into her frame. He's not going to chase her approval or validation. And that, paradoxically, makes her want his approval and validation even more. She starts wondering, what does it take to get to him? What would make him emotional? What would make him chase? And those questions keep her up at night. Think about the men women stay obsessed with for years, even after relationships end, even after they've moved on to someone else. What do they all have in common? They didn't give full emotional closure. They left things unsaid, left silences that couldn't be filled, left questions that couldn't be answered. They became permanent residents in her imagination because she never got the final piece of the puzzle. You see, she can replace your physical presence. She can find another body to keep her warm, but she cannot replace the emotional signature you leave behind. And that signature isn't created by saying, "I love you" every day. It's not created by paragraphs of validation. It's created by showing up with depth in rare moments, then vanishing with dignity. By giving her experiences that are intense but incomplete. By being the one story in her life that never quite got finished. That man becomes a phantom, and phantoms are forever. So what does this mean for you practically? It means restructuring every aspect of how you communicate with women you want. Stop replying instantly, not as a game, but because you actually have better things to do than hover over your phone waiting for her message. Stop explaining yourself. Let her wonder. Let her fill in the blanks. Her imagination is more powerful than your explanations ever could be. Stop matching her energy. When she's emotional, be calm. When she's chaotic, be still. When she's seeking, be grounded. Stop giving her the full emotional meal. Give her tastes, glimpses, just enough to keep her hungry, but never so much that she's satisfied. Stop communicating to get her. Start communicating to guide her into curiosity, into desire, into obsession. Here's what she'll never admit, but what every woman knows in her nervous system. She doesn't want the man who gives her everything. She wants the man whose everything feels impossible to fully have. She doesn't want constant availability. She wants the man whose attention feels like a sudden rainstorm after months of drought. She doesn't want complete understanding. She wants the man who is a riddle wrapped in stillness, whose eyes contain depths she can't reach, whose silence says more than other men's speeches. That's not arrogance, that's emotional command, that's masculine polarity, that's the format that creates obsession. So if you take nothing else from this, take this. The words you say are almost irrelevant. How you say them, when you say them, what you don't say, that's everything. Stop trying to win her with volume, win her with weight. Stop trying to prove yourself with availability, prove yourself with scarcity. Stop trying to make her feel certain. Let her feel the beautiful tension of uncertainty. Because in a world full of men who are desperate to be understood, desperate to be validated, desperate to lock her down with words and explanations and emotional availability, the man who whispers with presence and walks away with dignity, that man becomes unforgettable, not because of what he says, but because of everything he makes her feel without saying it. That's the format, that's the frame, that's the energy that makes women spiral into longing they can't control. And once you understand it, once you embody it, once it becomes who you are rather than something you do, you will never chase again. Because they'll be too busy chasing you. Let your silence speak, louder than their noise. Let your restraint speak louder than their offerings. Let your depth speak louder than their surfaces. Be the man who needs nothing, and watch how desperately she wants to give you everything. That's how obsession begins, with certainty wrapped in silence. And the man who knows his worth doesn't need to say a single word to prove it.